President Thompson,
Present.
Vice President Causey,
Here.
Member Gresham,
I am here.
Member Hunt,
Here.
Member Holcomb,
Here.
all are present.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
It's been a motion and a second. Please vote. Just for the record, the motion was made by Ms. Causey and seconded by Mr. Holcomb. Motion passes unanimously. I'd like to invite all the students from Heights to please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yo prometo lealtad a la bandera de los Estados Unidos de América y a la república que representa una nación bajo Dios, indivisible, con libertad y justicia para todos.
Thank you. I want to thank all the students for being here and for your wonderful presentations. We deeply appreciate you. Is there I don't believe there's any need for executive session. Moving on to item number 4, presentations and recognitions. Dr. Guerin.
President Thompson, members of the board, cabinet, and guests, I'm excited to ask Dr. Anna Andrews, president of MDTCA, to come to the podium to recognize some of our stellar employees.
I liked Dr. Andrews there for a second. That was a little scary. All right. The You Make the Difference and Shining Star Awards are presented by the Madison District Classified, Certified, and Classroom Teachers Association and Madison Administration to recognize the certified and classified staff who truly demonstrate Madison's vision of inspiring passion for learning and leading in an ever-changing world.
Okay.
All right, and our first You Make the Difference award recipient is Renee James. Renee James is in her 23rd year in the Madison Elementary School District and has had an incredible impact at Madison Heights. As our dedicated reading interventionist, she works with students, teachers, and support staff to foster growth in reading. She works with small groups and individual students, identifying skills to target, delivering lessons, and monitoring student progress along the way. This year, Mrs. James has trained and organized our special area teachers to assist our first grade team during guided study, our intervention block. These teachers work with small groups using their targeted skills and materials that Mrs. James has helped prepare. Mrs. James is our go-to reading expert. Teachers regularly ask her advice on helping students who struggle with reading. She attends all of our monthly study team meetings to help develop reading strategies for learners. She is a member of the MTSS team, our SIAP team, and our leadership team, and actively contributes to improving our school support systems. Beyond her academic contributions, Mrs. James beautifies our campus by planting and watering flowers and creating a welcoming environment for everyone. The Madison Heights community is truly fortunate to have Mrs. James on our team, making a difference every day.
You gotta run the gauntlet. Thank you so much, Mrs. Jones. Yes, I am. Somebody's gonna run longer than I have.
Really? Yeah. Mr. Holcomb? I know this one.
I know, I did too. I was like, that's a very good looking pin.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Sure. My husband is over there raising his hand. And my dear friend Enid is over there, and she was also my daughter's teacher at Madison Heights a few years ago. And as a matter of fact, my husband went to Simus. And my grandchildren go to Simus. And then there's Victoria Coughlin, who's our vice principal, and our principal, Stephen Lee. Thank you.
Flowers at Heights with Miss James. This is my gardening button.
All right, our second You Make the Difference Award recipient is Dr. Barbie Furcus. It is with great enthusiasm that I recommend Dr. Barbie Furcus for the You Make the Difference Award. Barbie is an exceptional educator who is 100% dedicated to her students and an unwavering support system for her peers. Her impact in the classroom extends far beyond academics. She fosters an inclusive, engaging, and supportive environment where all students, whether in special education or general education, feel seen, valued, and empowered to succeed. Barbie's ability to balance the diverse needs of her students while also uplifting her colleagues is nothing short of inspiring. She is a rock star in every sense of the word, always going the extra mile, putting in the extra effort, and making a meaningful difference in the lives of those around her. Whether she is advocating for her students, collaborating with fellow teachers, or stepping up in countless ways outside of school, she does it all with dedication, grace, and an unshakable work ethic. Beyond her skills and commitment, Barbie's positive attitude and unmatched morale make her a role model for both students and staff. She not only sets the bar high, but also lifts others up to meet it. I cannot imagine our school community without her, and I wholeheartedly believe she is more than deserving of this recognition. Dr. Barbie Furcus truly makes a difference every single day, and I'm honored to support her nomination for this award.
And today you got this. You got it today.
Okay, thank you for the warning.
Thank you so much. Do you want to say anything or recognize anyone? Thank you, Mr. Broadley, for being here, and Anna. I appreciate you guys so much and your support this year, my first year at Madison, and in my new role. So I can't do this without you guys.
And our first Shining Star Award recipient is Leslie Trust. Madison Heights is proud to select Leslie Trust, a member of the developmental preschool team, for the Shining Star Award. Leslie has positively impacted the lives of many children while she has worked in the Madison School District. Leslie started working in Madison as a MAC club leader for community education when she was still in high school. Leslie was promoted from a club leader to a site coordinator, where she excelled in building strong relationships with the preschool families. Leslie has also worked as a reading support aide in the district. However, Leslie found her true passion working as a paraprofessional in the developmental preschool. Leslie shows compassion and love for all the students in the preschool. She's kind, gentle, and caring, and she truly wants what is best for the children. Leslie is also the proud parent of a current Madison #1 8th grader, and her son is a former Madison alumni who is heading to ASU in the fall. Leslie always has a positive attitude and outlook when at work. On a scale of 1 to 10, her energy level is a 15. She is our Energizer Bunny. She is welcoming to all new staff members and families of children in the program. Leslie is a team player and always willing to lend a helping hand to any class when needed. Leslie's love and dedication to the children in our program is an example for others. The developmental preschool is so grateful to have her on our team. Leslie truly is our shining star.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. Great job. Congratulations. Thank you.
Would you like to say anything or introduce anyone?
Yeah, well, my husband and daughter are here. My son is busy and not here, but I want to recognize the fact I'm honored for this award. But developmental preschool is truly a beautiful place, and working with that age group is magical. But I'm honored to get this award, and the reason I have received this award is because of some special people I work with: Maureen Heinlein, Michelle Hodges, Dolly, oh, is that me? That's me. Dolly, Tampos Oxman, who are not here, who show care, compassion, expertise, and professionalism day in and day out to not only the children we service, but to all of us. It is such a truly environment of leadership and respect. And not only have I been a shining star, but Jenny Block, my coworker, Debbie Wheeler, who used to be, and Eileen. So it's really, truly a magical place, and I just feel honored. Thank you very much.
Flower duel.
All right, our second Shining Star Award recipient is Joanna Mollet Sanchez. It is with great recognition and appreciation that I recommend Joanna Mollet Sanchez for the Shining Star recognition. Joanna leads the night cleaning crew at Madison #1 with kindness, encouragement, and an unwavering commitment to excellence. She approaches her work with a positive attitude, always willing to go above and beyond to ensure that our school remains a clean, welcoming, and beautiful environment for students, staff, and families. Joanna's dedication does not go unnoticed. She is always happy to help, responding to any request with a smile and a can-do spirit. There has never been a time when she wasn't ready to step in and lend a hand, no matter the task. Her work ethic, reliability, and attention to detail make her an integral part of the Madison #1 team, ensuring that our campus reflects the pride we have in our school. Beyond her hard work, it is Yana's warmth and kindness that truly make her stand out. She brings an uplifting energy to those around her, creating a sense of teamwork and positivity within her crew and the entire school community. Her contributions are essential to the daily operations of our school, and we are incredibly lucky to have her. For all these reasons and more, I wholeheartedly endorse Joanna Mullet Sanchez for the Shining Star recognition. She truly embodies what it means to be a Shining Star at Madison number 1.
Congratulations, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for Madison. My school is, I love. My team is possible for my team. Lori, Erica, Maria, and Seraphine, Alberto. It's a beautiful school. My principal is amazing school. Everybody, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. We're going to move. Thank you, everyone. We're going to move to the superintendent's report, but don't feel like you have to stay for this riveting meeting. You're welcome to, but thank you all for coming to recognize those staff members.
Madam President,
Yes.
I just wanted to, although it's not absolutely necessary, we did jump over the adoption of the agenda.
No, we adopted before the Pledge of Allegiance. We did.
Oh, okay.
You
Well, then
seconded.
I did.
You did.
Before they did? Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I'm gonna go back, return to my nap back over here.
Dr. Karen, Superintendent's report.
President Thompson, members of the board, cabinet, and guests, I hope everyone had a wonderful spring break. We have jumped into testing season. Spring is such a busy time, and this week, AZ-SCI, the Arizona Science Test, started at middle school and Madison Traditional Academy in grades 5 through 8. AASA is at all schools on several days over the next few weeks. Look for communication from your school to know which dates are specific for grade levels. School attendance is so important, and it really helps Madison shine and our students show all that they've learned. Every day counts. Congratulations to Sarah Dufay for being named the Upper Elementary Teacher of the Year for the celebration of Arizona Public Schools through Save Our Schools. Sarah is a teacher at Madison Park. She'll be celebrated this Saturday at our very own celebration at Madison Center for the Arts. Congratulations to Ms. Dufay. We also found out that Megan Tracy, teacher at Madison Meadows, she teaches art, was the 12 News A+ teacher, which is fantastic. She was nominated for her care and dedication of her students. So you'll be able to see her on 12 News. This weekend, I attended Madison No. 1's performance of Beetlejuice Jr. Congratulations to Miss Lang, No. 1 theater teacher, and all of the staff that helped the students, her amazing students for their incredible performance. The vocals were incredible. The set had just the tiniest bit, perfect amount of creepiness that you would expect for Beetlejuice. And I love that we had a student director, students managing the audio, the lights, all of the things. It was truly a student performance. Unfortunately, the Banana Boat song was stuck in my head the whole weekend. So congratulations, that was really a remarkable event. Coming up, please visit the Madison Education Foundation's website. Night at the Museum is on Friday, April 11th. I hope to see everyone there for the spectacular free family event. Don't forget your tickets to the Madison Gala. Jump aboard the SS Madison for a night of fun, April 26th. So really, these are two huge events, so look at the foundation website for more information. Finally, I would like to take a moment to extend our deepest gratitude to Deputy Superintendent Lori Garvey for her remarkable 17 years of service to the Madison School District. It's hard to believe, but tonight marks Lori's final board meeting with us, and it has truly been both an honor and a joy to serve alongside her. Lori, your impact on every student, staff member, and community member has been nothing short of extraordinary. Your leadership has been defined by many remarkable qualities. Your expertise in fiscal management, navigating both challenging and prosperous times with equal skill. Your vision in developing learning facilities that have become cornerstones of our district's mission to foster learning and leadership. The list of your contributions are just too long to name, and I could go on, but one thing is clear. Your unwavering dedication to this district will continue to benefit generations of Madison learners for years to come. Lori, thank you for your incredible service and lasting impact.
Moving on to board member reports. Mr. Holcomb.
Thank you. I just wanted to remind everybody, I'm hoping we go relatively short tonight because I've got tickets to go over to the Japanese drummers tonight. I heard that they had a master class or a concert today that was just a blast. But the other thing that struck me, I stepped over there before the board meeting, and the schools are all over there with their drums doing a pre-show show. Which I'm sorry we're going to have to miss, but you could see the kids were already over there getting warmed up. It was great. I also wanted to bring up something. We get a lot of communications like this, but this one in particularly struck me, and I wanted to share it with people more broadly because I think it reflects not only the quality in that and the culture that Madison has, but the fact that Madison goes out of its way to try to assist other districts and build not only culture among itself, but others. I know all the board members got this, but this struck me in particular, and I'd like to read part of this email that came through. A number of our Madison members for Director of Student Services and Child Special Education, they presented at the ADA's Early Childhood Special Education Conference. And after their presentation, they received this email from the ADA Director of Academic Achievement and Inclusion. It says, and it's addressed to Edie Dolan, our very own Edie Dolan, but it really mentions all the people who had participated from Madison. Say, hey Edie, it is such a joy to learn from your leadership. Your team's presentation at today's Early Childhood Summit was outstanding. I loved when Keisha shared, we are just planning for preschool. All kids. This is such a heavy lift along with all the other instrumental practices you are implementing across your district. It is inspiring, for sure. Also, thank you for your time on Friday to walk classrooms. I was so excited to return to my team and share my experience. The partnerships you have made with districts that share the same vision for student success and the methodical support for teachers, students, and parents with implementation are implemented in your data outcomes. Natalie is such a very impactful coach. Meeting her and seeing how her role supports schools was great. I'm just in awe of your team, exclamation point. Your site leaders, teachers, parents, and students are so lucky to have you, all caps, driving a vision for inclusion that will benefit the success of all students, exclamation point. My team and I look forward to continuing to learn and support you and your district with your vision around inclusion. Thank you, Edie, for your time, for sharing all your expertise, and for being so welcoming. Seeing you all today and hearing your story virtually was a joy. That's quite a tribute coming from where it does, very heartfelt and very well deserved by Edie and all her team, but really I think that is part of what reflects the culture that is Madison. And a big part of that culture was Ms. Garvey. Lori has been a friend, a teacher to me, to a lot of people, not only about budget, but what it means to be fully engaged in the district. Lori just doesn't just crunch the numbers. She loves the kids, and she builds the culture, and that made such a difference. And so much of what Madison is today is directly related to Lori and what she brought to the culture. And I can't thank you enough. You will be sorely missed, but your presence is going to be felt here for a very long time. For that, I can't thank you enough.
Thank you, Mr. Holcomb. Ms. Kazi.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to thank again all the Heights students and their incredible presentations. I was really excited because one of my favorite topics is invasive species because I'm a little weird, and that was awesome. Wanted to also share that I had the opportunity to once again participate in Madison Simus's International Day in early March. It was probably most diverse International Day that I've ever experienced at Simus. I think every continent was represented with the exception of Australia and Antarctica. I was representing my father's home country of Iran, and just high level of excitement, incredible participation from parents and family members and community members. It is quite an extraordinary event. Hope to see you all on Saturday at the celebration of Arizona's public schools. Excited to celebrate one of our Madison staffers. And I had to write up what I wanted to say about Lori because yeah. I'm sorry, I'm gonna cry. Tonight we recognize and celebrate the incredible contributions of Deputy Superintendent Lori Garvey. With over 30 years of dedication to Arizona Public Schools, 17 of those with Madison, Ms. Garvey has been a steadfast leader, guiding our district with both financial expertise and a deep commitment to student success. Her leadership has ensured long-term fiscal stability, navigated budget challenges, and shaped the future, thank you, of our schools through successful bond elections and transformative building projects. She played a critical role in helping Madison navigate some of the most challenging times in education, including the Great Recession, Red for Ed movement, and the COVID-19 pandemic. Through each of these, her steady leadership ensured that students continued to receive a high-quality education while keeping our district strong and prepared for the future. Lori, your impact on Madison is immeasurable, and your legacy will continue to shape the future through the students we serve. We are profoundly grateful for your service and wish you all the best in your next chapter. Please come back and visit.
Thank you, Ms. Kazi. Mr. Hunt.
Thank you, Madam President. To Lori Garvey, thank you for your service, for your leadership, and for the impact that you've had on our community. I really, really appreciate it, and it means a lot to all of the families in this community, all the families that have been impacted over the last 17 years. So thank you for your leadership. The Heights showcase was incredible. I'm blown away each time we have these showcases and I get to see what's going on at the different schools. So thank you to the Heights students, staff, and faculty who all came out to demonstrate the incredible work going on at Heights. Congratulations to the award winners. Again, just showing the level of talent that we possess here in Madison and that we need to work hard to retain and make sure those folks want to stick around. I want to say good luck to the Odyssey of the Mind teams, which are going to state this weekend. Will be well represented. Madison will be well represented down in Tucson. So good luck to them as they go to state and see where they might be going from there. Also want to note all of the spring sports are in full swing right now, and I've been out to several of those events and just really seeing, one, a high level of play, which is great to see, but more importantly, a high level of character. And in even some challenging moments that I've witnessed, seeing our athletes really demonstrating that they do have a high level of character and sticking with it. And then the final thing I want to say is in our community, within our state, within our country, there's a lot of chaos right now. And in chaos, we look to leaders. And so I want to thank the cabinet. I want to thank the superintendent, our principals, our teachers, our vice principals, everybody else who's demonstrating leadership in this district at this moment. We might not be able to affect things that are above us, but we can affect what happens below us and in our influence. And I'm seeing incredible leadership from everybody in this district. And thank you for that leadership. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Hunt. Ms. Gresham.
Thank you. I want to wish all our students happy and relaxing testing for the next few weeks. And I'm sure that you will all do well. And yeah, hopefully it's not too stressful for you all. And thank you to Madison Heights for bringing their showcase. It keeps me on my toes with my Espanol. And I just want to point out that obviously those students aren't just learning like where's the bathroom and stuff. Like they're learning very in-depth technical topics in Spanish, so it's really impressive. I also liked the boa constrictor presentation. Was gross and fascinating. And I also want to thank Ms. Garvey, of course. You were a paragon in this district before I even arrived here, and you were always so supportive and welcoming of me, so I really appreciate that. Thank you. And you have led this district through a lot of challenging times and with grace and dignity, and we've come out even better for them. You are amazing, and I look at what other districts go through, and we've never had to worry. You've done an amazing job, and yeah, we all love you and appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Gresham. I too want to thank the Heights students and staff for coming out and doing the showcase tonight. I think it was so much fun to see everyone, but especially I don't think we often get to see the pre-K kids. So it was fun to have them come and sing for us. So thank you to everyone for their presentations tonight, and for the parents for bringing those students, and the faculty and staff for coming as well. I also want to congratulate all of our award winners tonight, and those that Dr. Guerin mentioned in her remarks. It just goes to show what great teachers and teams we have in our district, and kind of reflecting on the state testing. The talk in the back of my car today as I picked up my kids was about how easy the science test was, and they were reflecting on that. That's because of the great teachers that they've had in elementary school and middle school up to now in 5th grade. So thank you for all of that. I also want to point out that I've seen some, thank you for sharing that email, Mr. Holcomb. I've seen some things posted on social media recently about some of our staff members and parents talking to their kids who are reflecting on how easy a subject is in high school because of what a fantastic teacher they had in our program. So want to give a shout out to those folks. They know who they are. They've seen it on social media, but it just goes to show that not only do we have a staff that appreciates each other and supports each other, but we have a community that supports our teachers, staff, and administration. I also want to give a shout out to all the students who were recognized at their quarterly awards ceremonies at each of the campuses. I know we've got kids who are on honor rolls at various levels or received special recognition for standing out in meeting the school expectations. So congratulations to all of those students. And finally, Ms. Garvey, I want to echo all the comments that were made by my fellow board members, and to thank you for the indelible mark you've put on this district. The leadership that you've had in this district, not only has served the students and the community, it's part of the reason we've been able to pass bonds and overrides over the years because of your transparency and community engagement. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I've worked with you as a parent, as a Madison advocate, and now on the board, and so appreciate all that you've done for this district, and know that your legacy will live on here even after you leave. And we're all, while we're sad to see you leave, we're all excited for your next chapter. So congratulations. Yes, Ms. Garvey.
If I make it through. I have nothing but the biggest thank you in my whole person for Madison School District. Changed my life in so many fabulous ways. It filled the soul. It filled my bucket. It gave me that purpose. And I remember when I was earlier in my career and I was able to go to meetings, and at the time, my position here at Madison was occupied by a woman named Cheryl Crates. And Cheryl made me want to work for Madison, like extraordinaire. And I would just always say it was the way she talked about Madison, even more than what she said, but it was the way that she talked about it. And I always was like, oh, if I could just work for Madison, if I could just work for Madison. I loved everywhere I worked, but there was this, I don't know, this calling to come here. And Cheryl left, and I remember I didn't apply that time because I didn't think I was ready. And I thought, are you passing on something that's not, that you shouldn't be? But it didn't matter because it came open a few years after that, and I felt ready, and I felt the strong call. And I've just been so blessed. You know, in 17 years, you go through a lot of ups and downs professionally, personally, and I can say that the entire Madison community has propped me up when I needed it, and they've celebrated with me for every little thing that was wonderful that happened. I couldn't have asked for a better family, and I think that's what makes this so hard, because the love I have for Madison is really deep, and I'm going to still see everybody. I'll probably still tune into Tuesday night board meetings, but just thank you all for your support and for giving me this opportunity and believing in me when even sometimes I didn't have that. And it's all over the district that I feel this support. And really, truly, the people in this room are so special to me. And just thank you all from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Ms. Garvey. Next on the agenda is adoption of the consent items. Does anyone have anything to remove from the consent agenda? If not, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Oh, second.
Motion made by Mr. Hunt, seconded by Ms. Gresham. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Pursuant to board policy, a time has been set aside for call to the public. This is an opportunity for individuals to address the entire board in a public setting to express their views or concerns. State law limits our ability to respond to comments made during call to the public. However, we do hear your remarks and ask the superintendent to follow up and provide us with information regarding any issues raised. To keep us on schedule, each speaker has no more than 3 minutes to speak. Ms. Humphries, I believe there were no calls to the public online. Are there any here today in person?
We have no calls to public.
No calls to the public. We will move on to the next item on the agenda. First read of board policies. Dr. Guerin.
President Thompson, members of the board, cabinet, and guests, I'm pleased to invite Executive Director of Marketing and Communications, Ms. Jackie Gwynn, to the podium.
We're doing policy.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, here I go. I'm going to turn it over to I'm sorry, I got a little emotional there. Back to the board meeting. Turn it over to Lori Garvey for policy DICAA, fund balance reporting.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Guerin, and cabinet. I'm bringing forward, or administration is bringing forward, a brand new policy to our manual DICAA, which is fund balance reporting. As you may recall, when we do the annual financial report, there's a whole page now dedicated to fund balance on that report. For anybody that doesn't know, fund balance is the cash balance at the end of every fiscal year in each fund. And we have to put in that report what is assigned fund balance, meaning that it has a specific use. For example, a federal program has specific uses that we've applied for. It has to be used for that. Our bonds, same things. However, when we look at like our M&O balance, part of it we do set aside, we know, for contingency. That would probably be unrestricted, and that we're looking to use in the next year to fund budget initiatives would become restricted. So as part of it, and in talking with our external auditors, it would be best practice to align with GFOA and the Arizona Auditor General to actually designate the authority to the Assistant Superintendent of Administrative Services to be able to assign those fund balances, whether they are restricted or unrestricted. And so we are bringing the policy forward.
Thank you, Ms. Garvey. Are there any questions? Okay, no questions. I believe this will be brought back for final vote and second read at the next meeting. Okay, thank you. Next item, information items, Parent Square update. Dr. Guerin, now.
Now, President Thompson, I'll invite Ms. Guin to the podium for a very exciting Parent Square update we have launched.
Ms. Gulen, you don't want to talk about policy updates.
I don't think you want me to talk about policy updates. This is more fun anyway. Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Guerin and Cabinet. I'm excited to share with you an update on our new school-to-home communication tool, Parent Square. A little bit of background on this process. Back in fall of 2023 and in the spring of 24, we requested some input from our district and school administration and leadership, teacher advisory council, PTO leadership, to just get a sense of where we are with our communication methods. How's it working? Are we getting engagement? Are people getting the information they needed? And so what we found out of that was that it was really fractured and inconsistent between schools, between classrooms, from the district level. And so people were having a hard time getting what they needed consistently. So in spring of 24, we started researching some options to kind of, how do we bring this all in more alignment, right? So families know exactly where to look for information, get timely updates, and be more engaged in their child's education. And then in August, I presented to you all a proposal for Parent Square, and that was approved by the board. Looking at our timeline, we had 4 schools who volunteered to pilot the program. Camelview Heights, number 1 in Park. Our initial timeline that we spoke about in August planned to launch in October, with the remaining schools rolling out in January. In this process, we wanted to make sure that the data that we were pulling from our systems was accurate and set up correctly from the get-go, so we weren't trying to clean things up as people are in the system trying to use it and creating more headaches. So unfortunately, getting that set up correctly and kind of balancing that with the timing of the school year delayed that initial rollout. We didn't want to be in a position where 2 weeks before winter break, we're saying, hey guys, switch over to this new thing. I don't think anybody would have loved that too much. So, but throughout this process, maintaining communication with the site administration and starting to get that initial training for folks so that they would be ready as we got ready to roll out. In end of February, we emailed all staff and families at the pilot sites with information about, hey, this is coming, and including resources and training for them. February 24th, we did a soft launch with kind of the district and school office level. So think school newsletters, anything that would come from the school office, to give folks a chance to kind of start coming on board, get familiar with the system. And then as we came back just last week, from spring break, we rolled that out to start using it at the classroom level. And so, at this point, we're a week into it, and so we're still working on kind of that adoption and getting folks using it. But our current stats as of yesterday, Camelview, 71% of parents have opted to receive emails, and now these percentages are of total parents in the school, so it's not family, so that could be 2 people in the same family, right? 28% have opted to receive text messages, 21% have downloaded the app, and of those 18% and 18% have opted to receive app notifications. Features that CamelView has been rolling out and using: direct messages, posts, photos, videos, and calendar events. At Heights, 85% of parents have opted to receive emails, 14% receiving text messages, 17% have the app, and 15% are receiving app notifications. They have been using direct messages, posts, file sharing, photos, videos, and calendar events. At number 1, 78% are receiving emails, 22% receiving texts, 15% have the app, and 12% are receiving app notifications, using direct messaging, posts, photos, videos, calendar events. And finally, at Park, 72% have opted to receive emails, 28% have opted to receive text messages, 10% have the app, and 8% are receiving app notifications. And they have primarily been using posts and calendar events so far. So our next steps as we continue this process, we're going to work to continue to encourage families to activate their Parent Square accounts. They all have them, but they need to technically activate them to be able to use the app and things like that. However, they will still receive, if we have correct email address information from them, they will still receive emails from us, even if they haven't activated. They just wouldn't have that additional abilities such as the direct messaging or, obviously instant notifications, and they would still receive, emergency alerts that we send out even if they haven't activated that yet. And so continuing to resend invites periodically to families who haven't registered or activated their account yet, and then continuing to get the word out, hey, download the app, here's all the great features. And then continuing to ensure that we have correct contact information for families. If we don't have that, then it's really hard to let them know about it. People change their phone numbers and don't let us know. They change email addresses and don't update it in our system. So it's kind of an ongoing process. And then from our perspective, continuing to provide support and resources to the school sites to make sure that they're successful and have what they need in this process. And then starting to offer this, to any of our other schools who are interested in getting this rolling this year. What does that look like? Or to at least begin that training piece of it with their staff this year. At this point in the year, we didn't want to make it a requirement. Okay, everyone's going to be on it this year just because it's April. Everybody's doing state testing. Things are busy. Certainly don't want to add more to it. So what can we do at this point to be prepared for everybody to move to this platform for next year? And as I mentioned, for next year, everyone will be on this platform, and just making sure that they have time to get up to speed and be ready for that. So that's what I got. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Are there questions? Yes, Ms. Kazi.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. We're also very excited about ParentView. I have a few questions. Curious if even before we went through Parent Square, decided to use this as our communications platform, was there a process by which we collected maybe mid-year emergency information from parents in case there were any changes, either through principal messages or a letter that went home, so that we have that in case of an emergency situation?
I believe every year when parents fill out their annual registration, part of that process is to review their emergency contact.
So it's just during registration. It's not like a mid-year. We don't have a mid-year check-in.
To my knowledge, there hasn't been like a reminder, hey, go check this and double check it.
I would say as a parent, even organized parents probably need that reminder, just as the question.
No,
yeah.
That definitely makes sense. And in Parent Square, it allows you to, when you activate your account, you're confirming the contact information that we have, and it gives you the opportunity to make that change, and it notifies the school office because it needs to be changed in Power School, because the information syncs from Power School. So I think there's an opportunity for this to be a cleanup if people are going in there to activate. But I absolutely agree that having kind of those reminders throughout the year would help this process.
And then, out of curiosity, so I was wondering, I guess, I don't know, I was expecting that at our K-4 schools, we'd see more app usage and texts. Do you see some similarity to people that are using texts and also using the app? Do you have any way of determining that?
I have not run that information. We're able to see what users have opted for which communication methods, but I have not run that to see, is there a correlation between, are people choosing one or the other, or are some people choosing same? And at the same time, it's still relatively early in kind of that rollout process. So I think as we continue to get folks coming on board with things that will be interesting data to take a look at, to see if people are choosing one or the other. And with this system, it doesn't automatically opt people into text messaging. People have to select that. And I asked them about that, and their reasoning was to not overload people with messages that they may not choose to want to receive.
Right. No, it'll be very interesting as, if we have, some kind of like, air conditioning's out, kids need to be picked up, and parents suddenly decide they want to get texts. So that'll be interesting how, as the school year evolves next year. But, it's amazing the data you've already collected in the short period of time since it's rolled out, which says a lot, obviously, about how powerful this tool is.
It's very helpful to be able to get a sense of where families are, and do we need to do more targeted outreach for certain groups or certain schools to help families be engaged. I think that's a really beneficial and something that will definitely be useful.
Absolutely. Thank you. Wonderful job.
Thank you.
Ms. Gresham.
Thank you. Thank you for being here, Ms. Guin, and for recognizing the need for this, because, of course, school-to-home communication is super important. And a reminder to all the families, please update your Power School and or your Parent Square. Very important. And what else was I going to ask you about that? Nope, I guess that was it. Thank you.
Mr. Holcomb.
Yeah, first, I wanted to thank you for being flexible in your schedule. It's always great to schedule something, but when you get on the ground, I appreciate that you took into consideration, okay, this would be a better way as we're putting it out. I do appreciate that. Just a question for you, having done a number of technical rollouts, including the telephone and the light bulb in my age. But anything surprised you yet, or things, that have happened that you didn't expect to happen, or was popular, not popular, or anything? I know it's still early.
I think, is your question?
Yeah, have you been surprised? Is something's, it's gone a little bit differently than what you thought it would?
I think, for me personally, this is the first kind of big thing that I've overseen roll out, and so I think perhaps my initial timeline was a little advantageous. And so... Aggressive, you mean? Aggressive, sure. But, I think working with the team at Parent Square, our team here, everybody has, our administrators, everybody has the interest in making sure that this is set up and done correctly. And we didn't want to rush something based on, we said this date because it seemed like a good timeline. And I think people have been receptive to adopting this. I think that as people become comfortable with it, I think that it will become second nature. There was a lot from the research and conversations that we had in kind of the background work we did on this.
there was a lot of instances where teachers were using similar apps already. And so this need has been around for a while, and it was being addressed individually by, I'm a teacher, I have this challenge and this problem. Oh, here's a tool, I'm going to use this for my class. And so there wasn't necessarily something, we didn't have a solution for them. And so they were finding their own solutions. And so I think now that we have something to address those needs, once kind of the transition period is adjusted to, I think people are going to be very happy with it. And I think as parents get more on board, I mean, if you have to look in one spot for stuff, I mean, I wouldn't be unhappy about that if I was a parent. So I think definitely some lessons learned, but I think overall it's gone well.
Ms. Gresham, did you have a follow-up
Yes,
question?
I just remembered my other. So this, as you alluded to, once this is all rolled out district-wide, this is meant to replace all the other communication, right? So it's all centralized, one place, so we won't be needing like Peach Jar and all these other texting and stuff.
So there are some, I think the intent of this is to centralize the communication piece of things. There are some tools that are in use that are kind of special use cases that aren't addressed by Parent Square yet, I hope. So Peach Jar would stay because that's our flyer program. That's a little bit different.
Okay.
And there are some, like Class Dojo integrates the PBIS piece of it. As of right now, Parent Square doesn't have a PBIS piece. And so schools can continue to use Class Dojo for that PBIS function, but the communication piece should be moving to Parent Square so we're not getting that fractured experience.
Yes, exactly.
And same thing, we have our My Ride K-12 app for the bus, and which sends notifications if the bus is running late. It does it through that system. So there are some things that are special use, but for the majority of things, this is where we want parents to be having access to information for things.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that's part of the reason parents get frustrated is that there's things coming from all these different directions and then they just stop paying attention. So
right, or it gets
hopefully
buried in their email.
We can do as much as we can with this one. Thank you.
It has been hard for me to wait until the end to talk about this because I am so excited about this as a parent. I shared with back in August when we agreed to move forward with the contract on this. I got an email from a parent who said, "Oh, the communications again. This is happening." I'm like, actually, on the agenda tomorrow is, and they were elated because not only have we adopted this, but Parent Square also is used by several other schools across the state, but close by. So parents who have a footprint in some neighboring schools and our schools can see all of that on one app, so they don't have to go hunting and pecking for where they got something. I can say as a parent, I have loved just in the few weeks that we've used it that I can get an email that says, here are the things that are in, here are the 3 notifications. So I got the roundup that said there was a drill at school, the drill ended and everything's fine. And oh, by the way, Dr. Guerin's quarterly newsletter is available too. All in one email, so I didn't have to go hunting for other things. So I'm so excited that this is in play now. I think we're going to see even higher rates of adoption once we go through the registration process at the beginning of the year. And I'm just really excited that things will all be, for the most part, in one place. I'm also really excited about the opportunity for not just classroom teachers, but some of the other people who interact with our kids, if it's in after-school programs or other things, who can just say, send it to these people who are in that class. So if we did have an instance where something happened to a bus and there were parents who didn't have the app, an email could go out and Parent Square and notify them. So I just want to thank you for all the work that you've done, for all the work that the teams at the early adopter schools have done. From my perspective as a parent, it's been a very smooth rollout, and really excited to see what happens next. So thank you for that.
Thank you for that feedback. I appreciate that.
Okay. Next on the agenda, action items. Dr. Guerin.
President Thompson, members of the board, cabinet, and guests. Our action item 9.1, I'd like to turn it over to Ms. Garvey. As you know, it is vitally important to provide a benefit package to our employees. It is one of the top priorities every year that comes up in interspace negotiations. It is so important that we're fiscally responsible and provide the best coverage. So Ms. Garvey and I and the team are seeking action on this item, and I'll turn it over to her.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Guerin and Cabinet. As Dr. Guerin mentioned, we do take evaluating employee benefits very seriously because we know the impact that it has on them. And as part of the budget presentation this year, we know that our current insurance company did cap us at a 2.5% increase, which we were really excited about, especially when market trend is 3.75 up to 10%. So we were very happy to see the 2.5% guarantee that we had. However, when we received our renewal, that 2.5% did come with some pretty major plan design changes, which increased deductibles and copays. So we thought perhaps we should, in a very quick time frame, see if we could get another quote. So we are in the process of trying to finalize that quote so that we can evaluate the plan and the cost compared to what our current proposal is from our current carrier. We hope to have that wrapped up soon because it is already going to be April, and open enrollment and the end of the year are wrapping up. It takes a while to get materials printed, to get the education out there to staff. So we are asking the board to delegate the authority to Dr. Guerin or her designee to be able to enter into those health insurance provider contracts in between board meetings so that we can start working on that process right away. And then it would be brought back to the board for ratification at the next board meeting.
Thank you, Ms. Garvey. Any questions? I just want to thank the team for being on top of things. It's great when we have a signed contract saying that that the cost will be capped, but the devil is in the details, and for us to be able to turn around and see if we can find something that preserves services to our staff at a rate that's expected so they don't feel like they're getting really and adversely impacted and less is so very important. So thank you for the very quick turnaround in investigating this. Anybody else have any questions? Yes, Mr. Holcomb.
Yeah, and I wanted to appreciate the flexibility that the staff is looking to, take this approach. Because we know we have a baseline, and it basically can only get better, and this takes care of the time issue, which I think is very important.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, is there a motion to authorize approval to delegate authority to the superintendent or her designee to enter into contracts with health services providers for the school year 26 health insurance plans?
So moved.
I will second.
Motion made by Mr. Holcomb, seconded by Ms. Gresham. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. 9.2, audit reports and compliance questionnaire. Dr. Guerin, I'm guessing this one's going to Ms. Garvey too.
It is President Thompson. She's been working 24/7 to get 3 years of work done in this past month, and we're going to just finish it off with an audit. Ms. Garvey.
Yes, Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Guerin, and Cabinet. I'm actually so excited to be able to present these audit reports this year. Our audit did conclude about a week ago, and our reports were issued last week, and so this meeting was very timely. When we have an audit, it 100% is not, it's a financial audit, but it looks at every single thing we do, from student attendance to HR records, to payroll records, to how we record revenue, to withdrawal dates on a student or an entrance date on a student. So they really do, the auditors go through our operations completely with their fine-tooth comb. And at the end of it, they do prepare 3 reports that get, they are attached, and you can see them on your board agenda. Without going through every single page, because they are quite lengthy, I just wanted to touch on some highlights. So the first one that they do is they audit our financial statements. They look at every major fund, and if it's not a major fund, they aggregate the rest and report on those. The financial statements are used heavily by people that want to buy bonds from us. We do submit it to Moody's. We submit it to anybody that asks for it in relation to any kind of purchase of securities from us. And it has been what has guided part of our rating that we have. So it's very critical that everything in that report is stated correctly, and that we receive a unmodified opinion. If you receive an unmodified opinion, it means that you had a clean opinion or a clean audit, which could be confusing to people. And we did receive that this year. They also have noted in the reports that we do not have any significant deficiencies or material weaknesses, with a reasonable level of assurance, which is the highest level that you can get without being absolute, because since they don't look at every single transaction, they can't give an absolute. But we reach those high levels, so just very proud of the team and everybody that works here who make that possible. In that annual comprehensive financial report, we do have the financial statements. There's also an intro letter to it that describes the profile of the district and gives people narrative. Again, it helps the investors understand who we are and what they're investing in, and our viability going forward, in our ability to repay. So that's critical. There's then the financial statements followed up by a statistical section. A lot of the statistical section is based on who are the largest taxpayers in your district? What have your collections been? And if anybody's wondering who our largest taxpayers are, happens to be the Esplanade and the Biltmore. And so maybe not shocking. The largest employer in the area is actually Banner. So it's just interesting information, but again, that's the kind of information that helps people make decisions. So that was our annual comprehensive financial report. The next report that they do produce is the single audit report. Since Madison receives over $750,000 in federal funds, we are required to undergo a single audit. And it tests, this year we had 2 major funds tested, Title I and Food Service Program. They test all transactions that go through. They test to make sure that you're certifying time, if you are an employee coded to those. It's really in-depth. We, this year, had a clean single audit. Nothing was reported on that. That gets filed with the federal government as well as ADE in the county. We had no findings or questioned costs at the end of that. So another great report. The third report that we receive is the USFR questionnaire compliance. So this is, are we following all the rules that are in the USFR, which is hundreds of pages. The USFR questionnaire compliance itself is 30 pages long. It is at least 200 questions on that regarding our operations. We did receive 15 they don't call them audit exceptions, probably my old school terminations is what that is. But, and they were a very minor issue. So it was things like a clerical error. Revenue was recorded in the wrong object code. It didn't change total revenue, it was just the wrong revenue code. So there's another one, the withdrawal date on a student didn't match what was on the card. But we're talking 1 of 15 transactions that they test. So we don't anticipate any issues with that. That's probably, and when I talked with the auditors, a very average number to get. Hopefully just we do training on them and we go over it with people so that hopefully that doesn't happen again in the future. We did have one that we may have to answer to the Auditor General, and that is we did hire an employee, a student club hired an employee to be a DJ, and it was $300. And so because student clubs technically are their own funds, they're still subject to district procurement requirements. And if you purchase from an employee, if you're going to do that, you can't even get quotes. You have to go through the formal RFP process. So we may have to respond to that because that is deemed a conflict of interest exception. They may ask us, I don't know, depending on the amount, they may not, but they may ask and you may see a letter. And of course, we've already reached out to the individual. We've reached out to principals and clubs to let them know that we cannot hire employees. I'm sure that there was no ill intent behind any of that, but it is something that we can't do. So we've rectified it, but just wanted to let everybody know. And that really sums up our audit. If you have any questions.
Questions? Ms. Gresham.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Ms. Garvey. Please tell your team, thank you very much. Audits require a lot of cooperation, and as a former auditor, what public schools have to do is much more in-depth and detailed than most corporations have to do. So multiple reports, and you'll notice that this is for our year ended June 30th, last June. So that is what takes so long, and it's very detailed. So tell everyone, thank you so much, and as always, for your transparency and explanations. So that's all I have.
Ms. Causey.
Thank you. I wanted to say congratulations on the squeaky clean audit. The letter to the governing board was so short, which is always an indication that they have to say that we found nothing or they were responsive. And I do want to echo Board Member Gresham's comments that I feel very confident when we go through audits like this every year that we can tell our taxpayers with an absolute high level of confidence that we're using the dollars that have been entrusted to us to educate the students in the Madison School District in a professional way that is transparent and also clean as they come. So I just want to say thank you for that. Other school dollars for other sources, ESAs do not have that level of accountability, unfortunately, and so I feel we can say very proudly at Madison that we are transparent and accountable, and you play a big role in that. Thank you.
Mr. Holcomb.
Yes, you mentioned a couple of times our bond rating. Could you, what is our bond rating and what effect does that have when we go out for bonds and what we're able to do with our tax money?
Sure, of course you're going to call me on all these letters, right? Bonds get rated by letters. I believe it's a AA. And it is the highest rating that we can get on a bond. We are one of now, I think, 6 districts in Arizona that even have that designation. And basically it tells the people that are buying our bonds that their repayment is going to happen. And so there's less risk, and our interest, they're actually willing to take a lower interest rate on our bonds than they would if they were riskier. So I'm just really proud to say that we oversell our bonds. In our last bond sale, we're watching several bond issuances go out. Madison's were the first one, and I think this last time the only one to oversell. So we actually got to lower our coupon rates to to work for us. So and that in turn, when we pay less interest, it means that we save on our tax rate for our taxpayers. So it's a huge deal.
Ms. Garvey, I just want to say thank you. I was the board designee to talk to the auditors, and the folks at Field Meach just emphasized how responsive you and your team were, how impressed they were not only with our processes, but with the speed at which your team would respond when they had a question, and deeply appreciate that commitment. I know that isn't just a commitment to the auditors that you have, but when someone from the public or a board member or someone on staff has a question, you all are always there. Your team is always there, and we're deeply appreciative of that.
Thanks.
Any other questions or comments? Hey, is there a motion to?
Madam Chair, I move that we accept the audit reports and compliance questionnaire for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2024 as presented.
Excuse me, it needs to be accepted by roll call vote.
Thank
per
you.
statute.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to accept the audit reports and compliance questionnaire for fiscal year end 24. Can you please take the roll, Ms. Humphries?
President Thompson,
Aye.
Vice President Causey,
Aye.
Member Gresham,
Aye.
Member Hunt,
Aye.
Member Holcomb.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Okay, last item on the agenda, discussion regarding future meetings. Dr. Guerin.
President Thompson, members of the board, cabinet, and guests, it's hard to believe we only have a few more meetings of this school year. On April 8th, we will have the second reading of the fund balance reporting. For information items, we'll have a food service wellness update and also a Madison Highland School report. We will bring the district-supported health plan back for ratification. That is our goal. On April 22nd, we will have a Madison Center for the Arts tour, and is it true that MTA, we're going to have a guitar national anthem? Is that true?
We are going to try to make that happen, Dr. Guerin. My student was ill that day that MTA presented, and so we're trying to get him back. I have not got confirmation from
Okay,
his parents.
well, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed.
Yes.
Okay, great. And we'll have information item, we'll have a volunteer program and a community education and early literacy update, all from Keisha. She will be quite busy. So those are our next couple of meetings.
You bringing up our food services item on the next agenda also reminded me that Top Chef is tomorrow, Madison Top Chef, and I'll be the MC for that event. So looking forward to seeing students and their creations there tomorrow at the #1 cafeteria. Any other items for Dr. Guerin? Okay, hearing none. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Probably not updated there.
Move we adjourn?
Oh, second.
Motion made by Ms. Gresham, seconded by Ms. Causey. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. We are adjourned.